Good day, everyone. Welcome to Envision English. In our series of lectures on CBSE English Grade 10, today we are going to see Fire and Ice written by Robert Frost. Let me to introduce Robert Frost first. Robert Frost is an American poet and he wrote not only Fire and Ice. In our grade 10 CBSE English itself, he wrote another poem also that's called Dust of Snow. And let me start the poem from the title itself. The title itself is very interesting because it stands as a paradox. Fire is on one extent and ice is on another extent. So now I would like to request you to imagine something from your mind. That is, when you are in the mid, think of the midline. The fire means, which means 100, 150 degree, 160, 70 degree. This is fire. So that we may not be able to live. This is on one extent. This is on an extreme extent. And ice means it's in minus degrees, minus 10 or minus 15, minus 8, minus 7. So it is ice. So it is an another extent. So fire is a one extent, which is an extreme extent. And in the lower part, ice is an another extreme extent. So in these two places, we are not able to live. But these two extremes will definitely lead us means the humanity to the destruction. So keep it in your mind. Now we can enter into the poem Fire and Ice. First, give me the chance to read the poem. Then we will start explaining the poem and the rhyming scheme and the poetic devices used and the theme. So in this order we will discuss the poem. First, some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So I will explain that terms first, then when we explain the poem, then it will be easy. Here, fire stands for desire. Fire stands for desire. In the place of fire, when you substitute the word desire, then you can easily understand. And ice stands for hatred. So fire stands for desire and ice stands for hatred. In these two words might help you in getting a marks. It might be transformed into the mark in your board exam. So fire, desire, ice, hatred. And I hold in the first stanza, last line, first word, I hold, which means approve. I hold means approve. And perish means die, death. And the last word, suffice. The book itself, they have given a definition. Suffice means be sufficient enough. So keep it in your mind. Fire means desire, ice means hatred, I hold means I approved, and perish means die, suffice means sufficient. Now the poet conveying that some of them, who knows that, some of them from some other side. It is his, he don't know who said that. Some of them told that one day the world will be destroyed by the fire. The world will be destroyed by the desire of a human being, excessive amount of wish. And another group. First group said that the world will be collapsed by the fire, which means desire. The another group came and they said that the world will be one day demolished by the hatred. But among the two groups, everyone said the negative things. There is no one to talk about the positive side. There is no one to talk about the positive side. If the other groups came now, they might have told any positive things, but only two groups came there. That two groups have told the negative ideas. So the world will be collapsed by the desire, and the world will be collapsed by the eyes. But which is going to collapse the world first? This is what the question of an author. And from what I have tasted, from what I have experienced of, a desire of a human being, he approved that I represent the author, I represent the narrator, I represent the speaker, I represent the Robert Frost. I hold with, which means I approve with those who are favoring, those who are telling that the world will be collapsed by fire. He strongly believes that if the world is going to be demolished, means it will be definitely done by the fire. It will be definitely done by the desire. But what is the task of a eyes? What is the task of a hatred? And why he took into the consideration? Now he is coming to that point. But if it had to die, if it had to be defeated second time, means second time, so first time it has been defeated, somehow it managed, it came up again, means if the second time it is going to be defeated, means he thought that, he thinks that he knows enough of hatred. It can be done only by the hatred. And to say that for destruction eyes, which means hatred, is also great. Hatred is also a nice one to destroy the world, and it would be sufficient. And the hatred is, there is a sufficient hatred in the minds of the people, in the minds of the world community, to destroy the people and also to destroy the entire world. Now, in a line, if you want to understand the poem means, or its theme means, self-destructing human emotions. Self-destructing human emotions. And when you are looking to that poetic devices, means here, what all the poetic devices used? I will explain first. I will name them first. Anaphora, alliteration, and personification, and also enjambment and imagery. So let me explain one by one. Anaphora is nothing but a repetition of a word or expression in two or more lines. From the first line, some say. From the second line, some say. So the repetition of a word in one or two or in one or more lines is called anaphora. So some say in the line 1 and line 2 is called anaphora. And alliteration is nothing but repetition of a consonant that is there in the fire and favor from this last line of the first stanza, and this is called alliteration. And also enjambment, we know from the earlier poem, without any punctuation, if the sentence is going to the next line, means it is called enjambment. So there is no punctuation, so enjambment is there. And personification, here personification is giving a definition for personification is giving a human attributes or characteristics to the non-human things. So here the human characteristics is given to the fire and as well as ice. So the fire and ice can demolish the world, so that the personification can be proved here. So let me have a quick revision of the poem. The poem name is Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. The title itself has some paradox. Fire is on one extent and ice is on one extent. Of course, both are extreme extents. So the title itself is telling you that it is going to talk about the contradictions. So, and the poetic devices are anaphora, alliteration, personification, and enjambment, and as well as imagery is used here. And the theme of the poem is a self-destructing human emotions. What are the emotions? Emotions are desire and hatred. Respectively, fire stands for desire, ice stands for hatred. And also we have discussed about some glossaries. Suffice means be sufficient, to be sufficient. And I hold means approved. So when you are keeping these points in mind, it will definitely help you to score good marks in your board exam. Thank you all. Thank you for watching Envision English.